God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. Have you heard the story about my friend King Dave? Wouldn't let the giant stand in his way. He said, hand me my sling, cause he's not that tall. My God is bigger and I'll watch him fall. My God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. And I heard the one about this guy called Dale. Yes, he was a mighty holy praying man. They said throw him to the den of the scary beast, but God saved a hero from the lion's sea. My God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. More than history, he will do the same for me, like Jonah and the whale at sea. When I'm lost and afraid, all alone in the dark, you're with me. Oh, you're with me, yeah. My God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. I said, my God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. I said, my God's the king of me. I said, my God's the king of me.
Hi guys, miss you guys. Today's Bible story is about Daniel, the prophet from the Old Testament, who was taken from his home in Jerusalem because he was really smart. And the king wanted him to serve him at his palace. And so when he came, he asked Daniel to study and learn all about the new Babylonian culture. While Daniel was there, he had a problem that he had to solve. And so, with God's wisdom, he was able to solve that problem. Why don't we watch this video and see if we can figure out what that problem was?
Jehoiakim had been king of Judah for only 3 years when the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, attacked Jerusalem. King Nebuchadnezzar conquered the holy city and took many sacred objects from the temple and took them home with him to add to the treasures kept in the house of the king's false god. In addition to the sacred treasures, the conquering army took many prisoners along with them when they left Jerusalem. King Nebuchadnezzar commanded his chief of staff to bring into his palace young captives who could serve in his court. These young men needed to be strong, healthy, good-looking, and well-educated. To show his favor to these young men and to keep them well-fed, the king ordered that they receive food and wine each day that was prepared in his royal kitchens. Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah were 4 of the young men chosen, all of whom were from the tribe of Judah. The chief of staff renamed them with Babylonian names. Daniel was called Belteshazzar, Hananiah was called Shadrach, Mishael was called Meshach, and Azariah was called Abednego. Even though Daniel was selected to serve King Nebuchadnezzar, he wouldn't eat the food from the king's kitchens because it was forbidden by God. To refuse the king's goodwill was a bold and potentially dangerous move for Daniel. But the chief of staff liked him. While he was willing to let Daniel eat different food, he worried that this diet would cause Daniel to become unhealthy. He said to Daniel, "The king will kill me if you get weak and sick." Daniel spoke with the attendant who had been appointed by the chief of staff to look after Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. "Please test us for 10 days on a diet of vegetables and water," Daniel said. "At the end of the 10 days, see how we look compared to the other young men who are eating the king's food. Then make your decision in light of what you see." The attendant agreed to Daniel's suggestion and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, Daniel and his 3 friends looked healthier and stronger than the other young men who had been eating the king's food. After this, the attendant fed the 4 young men only vegetables and water. Because the young men's decision honored God's law, the Lord blessed them with wisdom and understanding. Daniel was given the special ability to interpret dreams. When the training period ordered by the king was completed, the chief of staff brought all the young men to King Nebuchadnezzar. No one impressed the king as much as Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, so they were brought into the royal service. Whenever the king consulted them in any matter requiring wisdom and balanced judgment, he found them 10 times more capable than any of the magicians and enchanters in his entire kingdom.
So as you see, Daniel and his 3 friends were forbidden to eat the king's food. You might be asking, why would God forbid Daniel and his friends from eating the meat off of the king's table? Well, during that time, there was a rule about what kind of meat you should eat and also how it needed to be prepared. And Daniel did not think that the meat was being prepared in this manner. So as a result, he wanted to obey God. But he also knew that if he just stopped eating the meat, that him, his friends, and possibly even the servant that was feeding Daniel and his friends might be killed. So he used the wisdom that he gained from God to put a time limit on it, because he knew that God was going to keep them healthy. So he told the God servant that in 10 days, after eating vegetables and water, if they were still looking healthy, then they could continue eating that way. But he also promised that if they were not healthy after 10 days, that they would start eating the king's meat. So the king's servant agreed to that. And as a result of Daniel's obedience to God during this time, he was given the ability to be able to interpret all kinds of dreams. Isn't that cool? So what we learn from today's story is that God is wise and that he can make us wise too. And one of the main ways that he makes us wise is by practicing our wisdom muscle. And the way we do that is we read the Bible and learn about God's lessons. And that gives us wisdom to be able to apply to our own lives in our own ways. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.
My God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. Have you heard the story about my friend King Dave? Wouldn't let the giant stand in his way. He said, hand me my sling, cause he's not that tall. My God is bigger and I'll watch him fall. My God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My got gold down. Yes, he was a mighty holy praying man. They said throw him to the den of the scary beast, but God saved a hero from the lion's sea. My God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. This is more than history. He will do the same for me, like John and the whale at sea. When I'm lost and afraid, all alone in the dark, you're with me. Oh, you're with me. Yeah. My God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. I said, my God's the king of the giants. My God's the king of the lions. My God's the king of the creatures of the deep. My God's the king of me. I said, my God's the king of me. I said, my God's the king of me.